Hi, welcome to another installment of my Mass Effect multiplayer guides to the classes. Today, I'll be showcasing and talking about the much disparaged Quarian Engineer. Now, I've never been a person who thinks classes are just crap, straight off the bat, but I'll say one thing: I couldn't personally find that much use for it, maybe because I never tried. So before I proceed, I want to offer some special thanks and credit to Zakir, aka La Coca Nostradamus. He's quite famous for his fastest ever Reaper Gold speed run clear. And I also want to offer special thanks to Lord Spectre, Lord of Sniping, Master of Solos, who has also endorsed the Quarian Engineer. But anyway, so thanks to both of these guys, both of you guys, in case you watch this. The Quarian Engineer is very good, actually. Is it on the level, is it the best? No, because there's only one Get Infiltrator. It's, you know, the most overpowered class in the game. But, is it a top tier class? I think overall it is. If you consider everything in one big picture. I think, for example, the Quarian is extremely effective against Quarian Engineer, extremely effective against servers, very effective against Reapers because of the armor, and there's so much armor going on with Reapers, and also effective against Geth because of Cryo Blast. But anyway, as usual, I like using servers because they're my favorite group and they're really mobile. But let's get into why people think the Quarian Engineer, in my opinion, sucks. I think the big misleading thing, and one thing that does suck about it, is the turret. And in my guide right now, you'll see that I'm not going to endorse the turret. In fact, basically, I'm saying full stop, just don't put any points in it. This will leave you the rest of the points to put everything else, and you'll be a lot more effective because of it. The turret would need a 1,000-point damage buff to really actually bring something to the table. It's just unfortunately not that effective overall. But anyway, I think that's the major issue. And so people associate the Quarian Engineer with the turret, and then they think, well, it sucks. Yeah, the turret does suck, but the other abilities are not too bad at all. Now, let's talk about the build first. So, skipping the turret, going straight to Incinerate, take all of the top evolutions, starting with 4, which would be the 30% extra damage, and now Bioware buff 5, so it's 50% over extra damage over 8 seconds for rank 5. And then finally, 100% more damage to chilled and frozen targets. Now, in many cases, you're limited by your ammo to be able to do that, but as a Quarian Engineer, you are a mistress of the elements. I call this build the Frostmaiden build, and so you see me consistently use it throughout the video. What do I do? I blast him with Cryo Blast, which has an extremely low cooldown, assuming you're using the right weapons, and then hit him with Incineration Blast. Okay, then moving on to Cryo Blast, take the area of effect, because the difference in 2 seconds isn't that significant, but I think the 3-meter range of Cryo Blast is very significant. And I would like to differentiate that between the extra radius or area of effect of Incineration Blast, which is 1.5 meters, not worth it. 3 meters, definitely worth it. You take that, and then always, in my humble opinion, take the damage debuff, which is 10% extra damage at rank 5 to chilled and frozen targets, and as well as weakening of armor. And then finally, bread and butter, take the 15% extra damage to chilled and frozen targets, and as well as the further armor weakening. So you're going to have, every time you cryoblast an enemy, they're going to be 25% more susceptible to energy. That's better than proxy mine. And it has a shorter cooldown as well. I'd say Cryo Blast is the bread and butter of the build. As far as the passive is concerned, um, go for power, power damage and weight capacity and everything, except for the last thing. Quarians allegedly specialize in submachine guns. I'm not going to be prescriptive about weapon usage in this build, in this guide, but I like the talent, and tell you in a second why. So I just, instead of going for the submachine gun, the extra 10% damage, so you have a nice, well-rounded 15% weapon damage bonus. And finally, fitness, as I'm usually advocating, as I usually advocate, then the bottom row, all of it. So fitness, health, and shields, shield regeneration. That's basically it. That's the build. Pretty simple. How does it work in actual gameplay? Well, any class, in my opinion, really, there are very few classes, for example, that kill exclusively with powers. I think adepts are probably the only exception. Every other class makes extensive use of weapons, and that is especially true of tech classes and engineers. So you're going to want to use a weapon that synergizes with your powers. The talent, I've endorsed it before, is a fantastic, fantastic weapon for a lot of reasons. And I'll say right now why. On the one hand, it's pretty light considering what it is. It does a ton of damage considering its weight, so it's definitely a top tier weapon for that reason. It's a pellet weapon, so it can shoot through shield gate if you're lucky. Although the Quarian Engineer, that's not the as opposed to the Quarian Soldier, that's not the principle behind it, really. And the best thing about it is because the pellets, for some reason, it's just fantastic with ammo power, no matter what ammo power. In particular, cryo. I mean, it's great with cryo. In this video, I'm using cryo ammo 3, I'm using an adrenaline mod 3, and I'm using pistol rail ammo 3 as well. And that'll synergize, and that's why I call this particular build the Frostmaiden build. You're all about freezing targets, debuffing them, creating an environment for extra damage, and just killing them. One thing you'll see me do throughout the video is take advantage of the incredible 25% cryo debuff. And by the way, Cryo Blast, even if you don't take the slow effect, will slow enemies down a little bit anyway, so that's a nice benefit. But for example, take basic assault troopers. Yeah, they're trash, they're easily dealt with, but there are a lot of them, they're shooting at you. One Cryo Blast followed by Incineration Blast will kill them. Don't have to worry about it. You see me do it a couple of times in the video. Hit him with Cryo Blast, hit and run. Hit him with Incineration Blast, move on, dead. Once Nemesis get down to health as well. But even if they're not, remember, it does affect shield, so if they still have protection up, and you hit them with Incineration Blast, it will burn more efficiently through their protection. That is the basic principle of this build, no matter what weapon you're using. Cryo Blast, followed either by direct weapon damage, because you're getting a 25% buff, so that would be a total of 40% damage for the talent. You get 15% from the passive, and then 25% buff. The chill frozen effect, and you know, when you choose to use Incineration Blast, your weapon, that's the basis of this build. I would argue, with the exception of the extremely fragile Geth Engineer, and I'll be making a guide, hopefully not too far off in the future for that as well, that it's really more effective than the other engineers in terms of pure killing speed. For one thing, Cryo Blast does stagger, but the difference, say, between Overload and that is that once you get their protection off, which is easy, I mean, they're just instantly frozen. They're totally harmless. And so that's very, very useful. The exception, of course, is the Phantom. Now, I've been practicing a lot with solo runs in general, and it sounds kind of a bit odd, but I've been trying not to prioritize Phantoms and taking out trash first. Why? Pretty simple reason, because whatever enemy you attack, this is kind of a side issue, you tend to get more of them. So if you see in wave 4, I wait for the Phantoms to blast. I don't want to deal with 3 or 4 Phantoms, which would have happened if I killed her initially right away. So I just try to deal with the trash. Same goes with Atlases. I had a bit of bad luck. There were 2 instances where I wiped and I had to med. One wasn't really both weren't my fault. I fell down the ladder. You see that I think in wave 4 or 5. When I was trying to shoot the turret, that always happens. Crap thing. And then there was an invisible turret, which you'll see as well, that mowed me down. But anyway. You also see how fast Atlases get taken down by the Talon Cryo Blast Incineration combo quite rapidly. It's not Claymore rapidly, but it's pretty fast. Now this is just solo. Imagine if you have a team of 3, where you're debuffing everything. I mean, things are going to go down very fast. It really is a very good class. It's highly underrated. And like I said, I think the reason why is the turret. Just skip the turret. Invest in your powers. You're an engineer. You're an engineer that specializes in the elements. In this particular case, the Frostmaiden build. I think the Talon probably is one weapon that synergizes maybe the best. But feel free to try other weapons. I've experimented around a little bit. So, yeah, very effective class. Yeah, but skipping the turret is pretty important, I think. But yeah, if I'll be posting this in the forums as usual, and it'll be up. Well, this will be part of it, so you'll see that. And once again, special thanks to Lord Spectre, aka Coca Nostradamus, and Lord Spectre, Lord of Sniping, Lord of Solo Runs. So yeah, I'll see you on the forums, and I hope you enjoy the guide.
Locate those devices and shut them down. Targets and disable them. You got them all. Objective completed. Sensors tell me only